gonna add color to our koi fish drawing. Here's my list of techniques that I want to show you. So for watercolor, we're gonna do wax resist. That also ties in with the crayon and oil pastel. We're gonna do straight up, wet on wet, and add salt. So that's for watercolor. And then we're also gonna use crayons and color pencils and oil pastel, because we don't know what you have at home. So we'll show you different things that you might wanna use if you have it. All right, so I'm gonna start with the oil pastel and the crayons. So I'm gonna start with my koi fish. So just gonna give a basic orange color to the body. Coloring that in. Those little fins. Now again, you would have done your drawing in pencil, so you're not gonna have these dark marker lines. All right, so I have a basic base color, and then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna color blend some similar colors on. So now I have kind of a yellow orange. And I'm not doing the whole thing, I'm just doing parts of it. Okay, and then I'm gonna find a red. Trying to stay in the family. There, so on the color wheel, you have your reds, your oranges, and your yellows next to each other. Okay, so that's some color blending. Looks like I'm gonna fill in that stripe with the red. Okay, so now it's not so much of a flat color. I'm gonna add some bright yellow in on top of it. It's just in a couple spots. Okay, so it's much more exciting than a flat color. That's gonna help us with our wax resist. Let's see if I can get this closer to you. Okay, you see all the colors in there? All right. So that'll help us with our wax resist. I'm gonna give his eyeballs some color too. So I'm actually just gonna make them black. And then find a little white. I have white, I do. Okay. Kind of looks like he has shades on. I don't know. All right. With the oil pastel, you can use your finger to kind of blend them together. All right, so that would be our waxy part. You can also use crayons. So let's see. Start this guy. Now when you're using the crayons, I would go with the shape that you're coloring in. So if it's rounded, you want to round your strokes to kind of go with the shape that you're filling in. And you would do this with color pencil as well. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. Adding in a base color. And go back and add in some similar colors. Give it a little depth. And I'm not doing it everywhere again, just I'm choosing little spaces for it. This one's crayon, this one's oil pastel. All right, we're gonna start our watercolor. So wax resist. We did a waxy substance, we have crayon, and we have oil pastel. So if you use watercolor over top of it, it should bead right off of the wax, because wax and water don't mix. All right, so I'm gonna show you wet on wet. So I'm gonna wet that area, and this time I'm just gonna go over the fish. Because he's wax, we could do that. If he was something else, you wouldn't want to do that. Like color pencil, you wouldn't want to do this. All right, so I have a puddle. I'm gonna give some blue. And if you drop your color in there, it'll kind of spread around. So with the wax resist, you could go ahead and you could just do it right over the whole thing. And it should bead right off of the wax. If you do get some color collection, you could just get a tissue and drop that off. All right, so wax resist means it should roll right off of the wax. All right. Straight up. Straight up is painting just like you did when you were in elementary school. So let's say I wanted to color in this little vine. You would just wet your brush, get the pigment, and fill it in. So it's just straight up. Now with the watercolors, you could color blend as well. You don't have to have just flat colors. You could go back in and I could put some lighter colors in there. It's actually called glazing. You add a color on top of another one. Not to be confused with our ceramics glazing. All right, let's try the wet on wet again. Let's try an area up here. So an area that you do not have wax, you would just need to paint where you want the actual pigment to go. So I went around my fins. Okay, and I have a nice puddle of water there. Then I could go back, pick up my pigment, and then drop it in. There you go, that's working better. So see it's spreading around kind of like tie-dye would. So you would drop your color in. That's wet on wet. It's only gonna go where you have your water. So it's not gonna go into your little fishy. Now you don't wanna do wet on wet there and then say, hey, I'm gonna make this fish wet on wet too right next to it. Let that dry first and then do your little fishy. Okay. Another crowd pleaser is to add salt. So when you add salt, you're not gonna add a lot. Teensy bit goes a long way. That's even a lot. You don't wanna use that much. A little bit, and then you sprinkle it on. And what happens is you're gonna get your sign spraying on here. And what happens when salt goes into water? What is the salt's job right now? The salt's job right now is to suck up the moisture. Then as it dries, it's gonna hold that. And then tomorrow we could come and we can brush it away and you'll have little white dots wherever the salt sucked up the liquid. So that's good for water because maybe there's bubbles or a little froth. All right, so I mentioned color pencils. So you can also do color blending with color pencils as well. So let's say we were gonna do this lily pad. So you're also gonna try to color with the shape, rounded because it's round. side of my pencil. Same idea, giving it a base color. I'm going to go back in with similar colors. It's just a darker green than I have. It's just giving it depth, making it a little more exciting than it is with a flat color. It depends how many colored pencils you have and what kind of, how big your set is, what you can actually do with this. Now blue is actually near green on the color wheel, so I'm going to add a little blue on this side. Okay, you could keep going. All right, so we did wax resist. We did that here with the oil pastel. You could do it with crayon. Straight up was here in our vine. That was just normal painting. The wet on wet we did up here, where we made a puddle of water just where we wanted the pigment to go, so we didn't want it to go into fish. And then we dropped color in. And then we added salt to it. And later what that's gonna do is it's gonna, as it dries, it's gonna suck up that moisture and leave little white dots. And then we also did a little color blending with your color pencil. Okay, so those are the techniques for coloring. Please don't use flat colors. Please avoid using marker. If you need to outline it like I have mine, wait to the very end and everything's dry. As always, email me or Zoom me with questions. Bye.